Hello, and we welcome you back to another Alpha X Pro Replay Cast. I'm your caster Snoopy. Also casting for you today is the one and only Kyuri. Kyuri, why don't you go ahead and introduce our first player here?
That's right, we're excited to bring you this cast. So spawning in the bottom right is the veteran Chinese Protoss, MACSED.
With a very interesting little rotating deck out. I'm not sure what that is. This is a kind of a interesting looking guy there. But anyhow, in the top left corner of the map is the red Terran player. He is the legend BYUN.
Yeah, Snoopy, I think that that portrait, it's actually a bug when you cast from replays. I see that quite a bit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't really seen it around, or at least haven't really seen many players with it. So it was kind of interesting to see. But anyhow, we are here in map 1 of Romanticide. This is going to be a best of 3, and this is from the OlimoLeague week number 218. If you haven't seen that yet in the YouTube title. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start off our game here in lovely PBT.
Honestly, it's nice to see Chinese players playing in OlimoLeague, even if it's they are populated mainly by good Korean players such as BYUN. You always want to see good competition and good participation from players of all regions, actually.
Yeah. So I think if you look at the Chinese roster, there's not a lot. I would say the most popular is probably Time. And then maybe Nice, but then MACSED.
But Nice is Taiwanese. So the other good Chinese players, there's one up and coming one called Firefly. He's been doing well in the in the GTC Chinese Team League.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately they had a very good Chinese Zerg as well, Ayasonu, who unfortunately I think retired last year or the year before that. He graduated from university and then he found full-time employment somewhere, but Ayasonu was a good one. But MACSED, even though he's been around for a long time, he's still a solid player, so it's definitely nice to see him play.
For sure. We do see there is a little bit of a sneaky probe here down and below. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to be for some type of proxy outside the base.
I think it's more for scouting, because for Widow Mines that we fly over, in the medevac there. We've got a Stargate coming down for MACSED. Looks like that's the tech of choice. Certainly a tech that makes sense in this map.
Yeah, and now I've seen some Protoss player do proxy that Stargate a little bit closer. But this time around, looks like MACSED is going to go ahead and place it right into his main base. Another thing, on the other side of the map, BYUN is going to place another building inside his main base. It's going to be a third CC. What do you make of this?
Yeah, I don't know. BYUN often likes to be greedy, so you can see he skipped Reaper again this game, didn't he? He skips Reaper quite a lot and has been punished once or twice, for doing so. But looks like he wants to be greedy this game.
Yeah, pretty interesting because BYUN really made his name with his Reaper micro back in the day, and it's kind of interesting to see him not go for Reaper openings quite as often. You wouldn't imagine, the Reaper King would go for Reapers all game, all the time. But yeah, this time hasn't really done so in the recent past.
Well, he's put down a factory after 2 barracks. So I wonder whether he's doing a 2-1-1. Although it's not a very common opening in TVP these days, just because there's so many counters to it. But oh look here, here BYUN is moving out with a nice group of Marines. Let's see what he can get done with them.
All right. Now, funnily enough, he is going to go ahead and kind of walk down the pathway, not through the middle. The observer will go ahead and at least scout this to move out. Also the Phoenix as well. I think he should be anticipating this. He is throwing down the shield battery here, but I feel like he might need to throw down an additional one, because if BYUN goes ahead and stims and get on top of that shield battery, he can kind of snipe it off really quickly. So I would love to see him kind of throw down a secondary shield battery there.
Exactly. Stim is almost done, and this is quite a lot of Stim Marines coming up for this time of the game.
There is going to be an Immortal to kind of tank some of the damage output But the shield battery doing pretty well so far. Shield battery overcharge does go down, and that should help him defend for the
and
time being.
wisely, retreats a little bit. Drill batteries are really good, especially when they're overcharged.
Oh, does lose a Phoenix there. Does get two SCVs, so at least got some amount of workers, but definitely doesn't want to lose that Phoenix there.
No. You definitely don't want to rebuild Phoenix. And you want a nice healthy count of 4 or 5 to do some scouting, picking off units that, that try to move across the map, or, even killing SCVs.
Yeah, I would say the magic number would probably be around 4 to 5 Phoenixes, and then that's when the Protoss want to invest those gas into the Colossus tech. And so you don't want to go ahead and lose Phoenixes and then have to possibly remake them, as you want to invest those gases into the Thermal Lance research as well as the Colossus.
And of course we got the Robo Bay having been put down and currently researching Thermal Lance. Phoenix Colossus is the more common playstyle when you open Stargate these days.
Alright, a little bit of a nice harass here by the Phoenixes. A total of 8 SCVs has gone down in this game. But there is a kind of a army force here out in the middle of the map. Looks like BYUN is looking to attack. Might be waiting for that medevac to join up. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and join up with the medevac. We'll go ahead and drop, actually.
Yep. Not sure it's going to be able to, steer clear of the Phoenixes, because obviously if the Phoenix catch the medevacs moving out, it's not good.
Yeah, we do see the Phoenixes flying back home. We'll try to intercept this. At the very least, it should lose. Oh, actually, you know what? Just going to go ahead and back out. I was going to say he should be able to pick off one of the medevacs at least, but decided to just stay back at home for safety.
He got distracted by BYUN coming in with a small group of Marines in his third.
Yeah, those Marines very, very
He
low in
managed
life.
to get out as well, even with quite low health. Every unit preserve is always good,
Yeah, for sure. Especially since BYUN actually is not going for any Viking count to counter the Colossus. Now, this has been the pattern of BYUN, where every time he faces against a Protoss player that goes Colossus, he kind of usually just skips the Vikings and just try to rely on his micro. Maybe add some additional Marauders and try to flank and probably snipe off the Colossus. But yeah, he's one of those Terran players that doesn't actually really go for Vikings to counter those Colossus.
He prefers a healthy number of Marauders to counter, I think.
Alright, BYUN gonna go ahead and get on top of this dirt base. Actually snipes it out. That is pretty surprising.
You definitely don't want to go up against a 3-base Terran, if you're on 2 bases as a Protoss. And MACSED immediately plants, a third down. Knows he needs to get his economy back up and running. He didn't lose that many probes, so I suppose, it's not the most dire of situations for him.
Yeah, but he is kind of, behind in the economy. I mean, BYUN still has that worker lead. He also got the meals. And let's see the income graph. Yeah, it's all red.
Oh, he's definitely well in ahead in this game.
Yep, for sure. He's got the +1/1 upgrade along with a almost dirty supply army lead. So I would say BYUN is sitting pretty. Also getting that 4th base, making sure that he stays ahead in the economy. And I really like this. He's got another army force at the top, so kind of splitting off, making sure that he doesn't fight head to head in the one big.
What you have to do against Protoss as a Terran, isn't it? Like you have to pull them, you have to pull them all over the place. You don't want to fight against one big death ball. Protoss army.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. BYUN being BYUN, doing those multi-prong attack, but MACSED army pretty well positioned here. BYUN not being able to find damage that he wants, but he doesn't really need to, right? At this point.
No, this is not an easy map to push up into. If Protoss doesn't have his 4th base, it's not that difficult to defend all the different angles of attack. When you only have 3 bases,
Mm-hmm.
just because Terran had to come up that narrow ramp in between in between the natural and the third. It's not that easy to push up into the third as well, because he didn't go for the heavy tank count where you can obnoxiously place those tanks behind the mineral lines in front of the third, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
All right, a little bit of an attack here, a little bit premature since like the other half of his army is flying right now. Dust finally drops into the natural here.
Yep.
There are
Go on.
there are a bit of defense here with the cannons and shield battery, so not gonna find too much damage.
No. 3 Colossus and a shield battery of overcharge can fend off a lot of stuff.
Now, BYUN has been ahead decently throughout this game, but after throwing a bunch of, army here and there, all of a sudden, MACSED's army is actually getting pretty scary with a good, decent amount of Colossus, Archons, and Phoenixes. I mean, BYUN shouldn't be counting his lucky stars. It is still a pretty strong army.
Yep. It was hard for him to trade efficiently against turtling Protoss on this map earlier. He's still ahead, but he definitely didn't trade the most efficiently in the last couple of skirmishes.
I wouldn't even blame BYUN for just trying to pull out some of the SCVs, get a 360 surround. That position that MACSED is in right now is a pretty scary. He's got BYUN is able to kind of get a little bit of a sandwich here. Not quite enough down on the south side.
Yep, this is all in from MACSED though. Well, more or less, he doesn't have a fourth. Or BYUN, sitting pretty in 4 bases. Good upgrades now, Vikings as well. The big bio ball. If MACSED doesn't kill off BYUN here, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, so BYUN just trying to bide his time, get as much army as he can. Stim is going to go down, and will he go down the ramp? Looks like MACSED has actually given him an opening, but BYUN doesn't feel quite safe enough to do so.
Yep.
Ooh, almost losing that War Prism. That War Prism is so important right now. That is his reinforcement point right there. And also gives him a bit of a War Prism micro to save some of this weakened Colossus as well.
Yep. So 5 Colossus may be a little, too much splash damage. You want some meat on the ground as well to tank for the Colossus, but let's see what he can do.
Alright, a little bit of a nice arc here by BYUN, but does he have enough? I think he does. And all these Colossus are just going to crumble down, and BYUN is going to go ahead and take game 1 of this series. All right, well done there by BYUN. We're going to go ahead and head straight into game number 2. All right, welcome back here into game number 2 between these guys here, spawning at the top left. It is the red Terran player up 1-0, looking to close out the series. Can he do it? It is BYUN.
And spawning in the bottom right again, it's the Chinese Protoss from Invictus Gaming, MACSED.
Oh, you know what? I actually call him MACSED, but then I also hear people call him MACSED. I guess both pronunciation works. I would suppose.
Yep. Well, MACSED certainly likes to place his pylon and first gateway in such a way as to block, the Reaper from jumping up.
Yeah, I really like this. It makes dealing with the Reaper so much easier. Now the question is BYUN even gonna go for Reaper opening, right? Because in the last game he didn't even, go for it. So we'll see if he does go for it this time around, or if he just decides to skip it once again.
But more and more often, to be honest, I've been seeing Protosses not place their first pylon and gateway to block the Reaper, but close to their main nexus instead. I think they don't want to get, I would say, I was gonna say ambush, but they want to be in that obnoxious position where Terrans place tanks, at the bottom, and then basically gets a good trade if if the Protoss army wants to engage, and they usually are able to kill off the gateway and the cyber core and the pylon as well from the low ground.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a preference thing. You can either place the first initial buildings at the ramp area, or you can kind of place it in the ways that it kind of blocks, I guess near the Vespene Geyser, where it kind of blocks the Reaper from going through that way. Yeah, you just kind of wall off that way. Yeah.
Yeah, BYUN once again keeping that Reaper. Yeah, honestly, if I were Protoss playing him, I'll try and do one of those cheeky max pack builds, you know?
Alright, this initial probe will scout the Marine there, but doesn't quite go up the ramp to get any scouting information. So he's going to be in the dark for quite some time. Going to go ahead and elect to go for Twilight Cancel.
Yep. BYUN this time opting to go for 3 racks instead of, a fasted CC in the opening minutes of the game.
Yeah, it looks like a timing attack of some sort. This is a pretty good map to do it. I mean, it is pretty short, so you can kind of walk your unit across the map and stem and sometimes do a significant amount of damage if the Protoss is not quite prepared for it.
Yep, this is one build that you have to be prepared against, with shield batteries, lots of stalkers, and maybe delaying your third a bit if you were the Protoss.
Oh, MACSED going for the DT Shrine. That is not, I would say, not the best choice to go for against this build, because, I mean, DTs are good, but, I mean, unless he has some shield batteries, like the Stim Marines can just clear out the natural before the DTs does enough damage.
Yeah, as long as they have some scans, Terran should be okay in this scenario.
Alright, I guess we'll see. So far, MACSED's still in the dark here. Didn't have any hallucinated Phoenixes to scout what's up, so yeah, he doesn't even have the Adept and the Stalker out in the field to kind of poke in and scout what the Terran player is going for, so this might actually catch MACSED by surprise.
Yep. BYUN though doesn't have a lot of energy in his orbital command, so let's see how he defends against this DT harass.
Yeah, now the good thing for him is that the DTs are going to finish before Stim is finished. Actually, the army of BYUN is moving out at the same time, so we might actually have ourselves a little bit of a funny couple.
Be a bit awkward for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But MACSED doesn't have any units at home at all. He's been as greedy as he possibly could be.
Yeah, he's immediately making that turret in the main base, getting the detection, and the Stim Marine is gonna go ahead and just walk right into the main natural, shutting down the whole production building of those 2 gateways, the robotics facility, as well as the shield battery, and all that he has left is just this one gateway to work from.
MACSED warping in 1 defensive DT, which BYUN immediately scanned and took out.
And that's it. BYUN is going to just go ahead and just go for a straight 2-0 victory here. So congrats to him. You will advance to the next round. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed these games. This has been an Alpha X production of another Alpha X Pro replay cast. Hope you guys have a good one. And we'll see you guys next time. All right, take care.